There is just abject fear of minorities right now. There is fear of being labeled a bigot or a racist. The whole debate is set up. Everything the majority wants to do now is bigoted, anti-discriminatory. Or not anti, it is discriminatory. It's the way everything's been characterized. And so the people who are trying to do the right thing never stand up for themselves after they're trying to do it. The right thing has no defense. The right thing has nobody shouting in its defense. The right thing has nobody, after they write it and have to make an effort, they let it die. They allow themselves to be walked all over. They allow themselves to be mischaracterized. They allow their work to be mischaracterized. Never seen anything like it. And we all know why. Fear of the media. It's, clear as a bell what made this in Arizona happen. The media and the left-wing bullies were able to totally mischaracterize what this was. And the people who knew that they were being mischaracterized didn't dare stand up and say, no, you're wrong. Just didn't want to take that risk. Figured they'd have nobody on their side. They figured they'd have no support, no help. Didn't want to be a lone wolf or a series of lone wolves. And they just say, you know what? We'll get this issue off table. We'll come back. We'll get them. We'll get them on. Well, whatever. We'll get them on the next one. And they cave on the next one and say, we'll get them on the next one. And they cave on that. And you and I know why. So what Arizona had on the table is something that's already federal law and essentially the law in 18 states and others. Now, wrap up Lowry. The letter that these 11 legal experts wrote Governor Brewer, telling her how this bill is good, proper, and how it's been mischaracterized. The letter argues that properly interpreted, the federal law that inspired this statute in Arizona, properly interpreted, the federal law that inspired this Arizona statute covers cases that do not directly involve the government, and it covers businesses. So Arizona's changes were not radical. They were in keeping with a federal law once championed by none other than Ted Kennedy. Now, a religious freedom statute doesn't give anyone carte blanche to do whatever he wants in the name of religion. It simply allows him to make his case in court that a law or a lawsuit substantially burdens his religion and that there's no compelling government interest to justify the burden. And now that's even been taken away here. For critics of the Arizona bill, the substance was an afterthought. The substance didn't matter. It was the opportunity the bill gave them. A, mischaracterize it. B, call it gay bashing. C, attach it to the Republicans and make them out to be the usual racist, sexist, bigot, homophobes. D, scare them into paralysis. And then E, we get what we want. And what we want is this Constitution shredded and bastardized every chance we can. The question, ladies and gentlemen, isn't whether businesses run by people opposed to gay marriage on religious grounds should provide their services for gay weddings, but it became that. Not only is this the denial of religious freedom, this is using the force of government to force people to act in ways they don't want to act. It's a double whammy. But the question again isn't whether businesses run by people opposed to gay marriage on religious grounds should provide their services for gay weddings. It's whether they should be compelled to by the government. That's the question, and that's what just happened. The government can now compel people, just like they can't compel you to buy a product or insurance, but now they can. The government can't compel you to do business with people you don't want to, except now they can. The critics of this much maligned Arizona bill pride themselves on their live and let live open-mindedness. Oh, yeah. They're the tolerant ones, you see. They're the ones that are not closed-minded. They're the ones that are not bigoted. Oh, no. And they certainly aren't the bullies. Oh, no. They're just loving, kind, soft-spoken, gentle people who just want everybody to get along, except when you don't agree with them. And then they become like jackbooted thugs. And they start bullying everybody in their way.